You are watching AST Online Academy. Today our topic is requirement. So we will cover, we will see about and learn about requirements in software engineering. So the topic we are going to cover is functional and non-functional requirements, the software requirement document, requirement specifications, requirement engineering process, requirement elicitation and analysis, requirement validation and requirement management. So let's see. So what is requirement engineering? Requirement engineering is the process of establishing the services that the customer requires from a system and the constraints under which it operates and is developed. For example, what is requirement engineering? So requirement engineering is that when customers need a system, so they give us the requirements, and under that requirement we develop a system. So the process of gathering requirement and then making SRS, software requirement specification, and then making a system or making an architecture for it is called requirement. It's basically the process. So what is requirement? So requirement may range from a high level abstract statement of a service or of a system constraints to a detailed mathematical functional specifications. So basically requirement can be a high level abstract. For example, it can be it is not supposed to be a very detailed requirement in the start, because non-technical stakeholders or customers do not understand the technical details, so they give us the abstract requirement. Or it can be the detailed documentation, like for example a developer made a requirement document. So it will be for example a developer made a requirement document for making an architecture, so it has to be in detailed. So requirement document can be used for bidding. Let's suppose a client made a requirement document and publish a project tender. So on that requirement document, the software house or software companies will download or see that requirement document, and on the basis of that requirement document they will bid for the project. So these are requirements. Requirement can be high level abstract statement or in detail. There are two types of requirements. One is user requirement and the second is system requirement. User requirements are statements in natural language plus diagrams of the services the system provides and its operational constraints written for the customer. User requirements are basically written for the customer. System requirements are structured document setting out detailed description of the system functions, services, and its operational constraints. Defines what should be implemented, so may be part of a contract between client and contractor. So the user requirement is basically for the customer, and the system requirement is basically developed by a developer or by a requirements engineer, which should be further used by developers, project managers, etc. Okay, so now we will see functional requirements, non-functional requirements, and domain requirements. That what is functional requirement and what is non-functional requirement. So functional requirement are statements of the services the system should provide, how the system should react to particular input, and how the system should behave in a particular situation. May state what the system should not do. Non-functional requirements are basically the constraints on the system or functions offered by systems, such as timing constraints, constraints on development process, standards, etc. Often apply to the system as a whole rather than individual features. Okay, so one is functional requirement which the customer needs from the system. Like let's suppose we take an example of a bank. So in a bank, the ATM machine is a functional requirement, and there must be a portal for the bank accounts. So this is a functional requirement, but non-functional requirement is kind of security. Security is the major non-functional requirement for the bank, and it applies overall to the bank. If you go to bank, they have their own security, they have their security cameras, they have standard security rules. So this is non-functional requirement, and people say, or engineers stated, that non-functional requirement is very important. It's most important than functional requirement. If one non-functional requirement is failed, your overall system can be failed. The third requirement type is domain requirements, which is constraints on the system from the domain of operations. So the domain is for which domain we are going to make a software, like the medical domain, the banking domain, the educational domain. So this is called domain, and this is what the constraints are going to be implemented from the domain. Okay. Requirement imprecision. What is requirement imprecision? Problem arises when requirements are not precisely stated. Ambiguous requirements may be interpreted in different ways by developers and users. In principles, requirement should be both completed and consistent. So requirement should be complete and consistent. If there is one requirement left in the requirement specification, so there is a chance that the system will be not developed that much efficient. Okay, so that's all about requirements, about requirement engineering, and we will see further topics. There are more important topics. This is just an introductory video for requirement engineering. So stay tuned and please subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or queries about requirement engineering or anything else technical in software engineering, you can ask in the comments, and we will sure that I will be happy to see your story and to answer you and to help you. Thank you.